hey, oh, I'm so glad you called. I got your message. I'm gonna have Jimbo call you back and schedule a freaking sales proposal, a sales call. Oh yeah. Oh, well, he'll call you back. What time is that? I don't know. He'll call you. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you're doing it and you listen to me right now, stop doing it right now.
It's so
Stop doing it.
frustrating when I hear guys and they say that. Like when we're like, hey, well, what's your process? And they're like, oh yeah, we just pass the lead off to one of our reps. It's
The,
like you're
the
just
most
flushing money down the
And
drain.
I worked for companies like that. And I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. As like a little 22-year-old, I was like, this is the wildest thing in the world. And you got to stop doing that. You don't deserve the This is what I'm saying. If you don't do these processes, you don't deserve the profit. Have fun. Let's talk about some real numbers really quick. If I'm hitting 40% profit per million, every $1 million I sell, I hit around 40% profit. That's $400,000 of profit, right? If you're hitting 22% or 25%, that's 25%, $25,000. I'm making
25, 250,000.
$250,000. I'm making $150,000 more than you every $1 million I sell, like of profit.
Yeah. What about the
Like,
guys though? So like I've talked to guys and they'll try to frame it in like a ethical. They'll be like, oh, it's just unethical to be out here charging these homeowners
I
for
would
more
say
than
they don't know their numbers.
25%
100%. They
profit.
don't know their numbers. They don't know them. They do not know their numbers. They're probably door knockers. Sorry. They're probably door knocking because they're like, well, we're not putting any effort. This is why they're door knocking. So they're not putting any effort into marketing. So they don't have a risk out there. They're just like training guys and maybe a really good process of door knocking. Door knocking works. I'm aware that canvassing is the most effective ROI in all of marketing still. I am aware of this. The reason that guys don't have confidence about charging the right margin for these is because they're like, well, I'm not actually putting any effort out there. I just got my, like you called it, like the roofing club. They just got their club. Hey guys, go out there and sell it. I don't deserve high margins.
They're not
That's
creating the value, so they're
yeah.
also not charging for the value.
There's no machine they're all they're doing is they have a sales team that goes and sells things. There's no actual real brand. Like there are companies that I know that are like getting bought up by private equity because private equity sees the numbers, which is great for them, but there's not an actual real brand. Like they're just a sales team. They just rotate through sales reps over and over again. I know guys on these and they just rotate through. They just rotate through. They just keep
Because they can't even retain them because it's
yeah, because it's not an actual machine. It's all it is just a sales force. And if you can't hack it, see you later. So the owners don't actually have any confidence because they're not building anything. They're all they're doing is it's a sales organization that's valuable for investors, which is great, good for them. But
I
in
wouldn't even say I think that's a mistake because the once the owners are out, it's like those sales
then
reps,
it's done.
sales reps only come on board because they're tied to a specific person. As soon as that person leaves, like the
That's
sales team
true.
falls apart.
That is true.
So I don't even know how
We're
those
getting off
hang
subject,
out.
but the idea
Yeah, we need to
is
get back on track.
you want to make $400,000 per million. You don't want to make $20,000 per million. I mean, $200,000 per million.
Let so you make yeah, absolutely. You want to make that 400,000. Let's talk about what do you do with that. Well, let's go down next level, gross profit. So gross profit, you have $400,000 in the business.
Yep.
Or sorry, no, that's just profit margin. You have the 400,000, right? Now let's talk about gross profit. So what is the number after you're deducting the commission, after you're deducting any attributable marketing costs? Like what should that number be? Because obviously it's not going to be 30% anymore, right? So what you're saying it's got to be
Well,
30% on
so
profit margin at
here's
least.
why. Here's why.
So what is it? What
Here's
is it
why.
for gross profit?
Here's why I'm trying to say 400,000 for per million because if I pay my commission sales reps 10% off the top, that's how I pay them. I don't do 10-50 split. I pay 10% of revenue. So for every $1 million, they're making $100,000 of commission.
Okay.
So you take the $100,000 from the 400,000, and there's $300,000 of profit after commission.
So you're saying it's 40%. You said 30% before, but are you
I'm
saying
saying
it's
that's the
40%?
minimum. I'm saying that's the
30
minimum.
is the minimum.
I'm trying to be nice to people, but
But the
I've done.
ideal, so the target is really 40. Is what you're saying. The target should be 40.
I think the target should be higher than what I do. I think it should be 45, 50%. There's a lot of people. Tom Reaper, Contractor Fight, he preaches hardcore 50% margin every
30%
job.
margin. Yeah.
And
so
I'm like,
so
I
the
want to be like
target
that.
is 50. The target is 50. If you're
Yes.
in the if you're in the 40s, you're safe. Anything below 30 is like you're going out of business. Is that
I
kind
think
of